Hello and welcome to Vlasak Video, home with the my LG washing machine, a Hello Inca dishwasher, Samsung fridge freezer and a higher wine fridge. Here in the PK with Thomas Racek Philco top loader, washing machine and this beautiful ROTKA LG, and we will come to Thomas Racek Philco top loader machine later. Now, as you can see, the washer is partially loaded up, and this is for the simple reason I I usually tend to show loading all the way up, but in this case I can't because the laundry that's in the machine, even it's nothing intimate, nothing personal. There are no personal stuff. There are just beddings and towels. But laundry doesn't belong to me. It does belong to my neighborhood, Thomas Racek, and I just want to say I'm just washing for a friend. So I'm gonna topping up this white with part of my tea towels from the kitchen because this tea towels I have this, and this tea towels just used for cleaning the mess of the food. So it doesn't matter if they just gonna be washed with or not. Doesn't absolutely matter for me. This is just an old tea towel, so I truly use it to top up the machine. Today I will use a bit of powder, as well as a area liquid up. I'm usually don't using liquid ups for the white, but since I want to get this one really nice scent in my neighborhood, so I'm using one of the uh, one of the normal color catches. So normal color catches, and as well I'll give a chance to one because there is a white. I'm gonna do the chance to one cleano color catcher. Juggle cheap color catches using for once in a while. Well, perfect. Today I will use an anti-allergy slash allergy plus cycle. Temperature is automatic 60, and we are going to use the intensive. The intensive. We don't have to use the intensive rinse because the automatic rinse are they're already automatic intensive rinse. So, right, this laundry, a part of the duvet cover my neighborhood added later, and a part of my tea towels. This laundry is already pre-rinsed and pre-spun, and it's leftover laundry from yesterday because what happened, what happened was that my neighborhood washing machine, the Philco top loader, which I came to it now, just broke right in the start of the cycle. So, so somebody at laundry get the detergent and the softener in, start it, and during the soak, the washer just gone completely off, completely completely broken. So 2 hours 48, which is the standard size. So the Thomas machine is finally gone completely, or maybe. So so we just have to wait for the service and see what the service will say. I don't know if it's possible to save the machine anyhow, or anyway. So this is just mainly bedding towels plus my tea towels from the kitchen I used to top the machine up. So the anti-allergy is a great cycle as it uses more water. So the machine is gonna pre-sense and pre-soak the load, and then she's gonna add more water. So there is an extra top up of fresh water. So there is an extra top up of fresh water. So the anti-allergy has limit for 4 kilo, which is what this exactly is. And I just want to say that I was stopping load with my tea towels, but it doesn't matter for me because my tea towels doesn't go on my body. It just does cleaning the mess what I am left doing from the food. So it absolutely doesn't matter for me if the details get with anybody else's laundry unless there are personal things like the socks and pants and t-shirts. But that's all what I have done for Thomas yesterday. So I'll be back with my comment in a minute because I'm just going to hide the extra fill. laundry is now pre-soaked, pre-sensed, and we have 2 hours 29, and we add the extra water to it. So the anti-allergy is designed to wash the specific clothes like the whites for the longer time with a lot of water with a high temperature. Basically now it's in the soap. After just add more water. So still does the sensing. There's like the extra soaking pause. It does after adding more water. So I'm just now going to the normal main wash tumbles. Right. So what happened yesterday was the Thomas Rashid was needed to wash his laundry after about 14 days, and so somebody did add the laundry, add the detergent, add the softener, which the top loaders have a tendency to the softener run straight away. The softener has a tendency to leak straight away through the detergent drawer. So if you add the softener right at the start of the cycle on the front loader washer, at the top loader washer, the softener has a tendency to leak straight up to the drum, which is pretty bad because the softener should come in for the final rinse, of course, and which this really isn't. Is coming for the final rinse? No, that isn't. Well, the front loaders doesn't seem to have such a problem, like over-leaking the softener straight into the drum. So the softener goes straight into the main wash instead of being taken for the final rinse. And this is not the only top loaders. This is not the only top loader, the Philco top loader, which had the problem with. I had the same problem on my old Whirlpool I used to have, so So no, this is not, knowing this is not the only top loader what has these problems, and that's really annoys me. So somebody at the laundry, the detergent, the software goes straight up, close the door, selecting the program, and the washer filled, did couple of tumbles, and then died straight off. It's gone completely during the soaking pause, so the soaking pause wasn't even fully finished, and the washer just straight off died. And what was really non-pleasant was that the washer was locked full of water, didn't wanna let the user in to take the laundry out and to rewash it. So then there had to come somebody who opens the washer and let the laundry out. And then the laundry was literally completely soaked, wet, full of main wash water. So what I did, I let the assistant take it to my washer because it was full of water and it was impossible to go to any other building. So there was no way, and there was case of emergency, and in this case I have no problem to tackling the laundry for the friend, because especially for such a friend like is Thomas, when before I bought the ROTKA LG, I have washed for the year and a half on his machine, and in that times I already noticed some problems this washer had, like the drain pump turning straight from itself, and skipping the program, skipping the rinses and whatsoever. So in that time it was already completely out. So I knew that the time to break down had to come, and necessarily to come. So it was full of water, already soaked wet. So what I found out was the washer was completely overloaded. I don't know how the hell somebody is able to fit like 9 kilo into the 7 kilo machine. Even the assistant told me that the laundry weighs, when it was dry, the laundry weighs 3.8 kilo. But I don't believe that, because I have seen the laundry is simply too much. The washer had I gave all the laundry first quick rinse and spin to not have soaked laundry full of main wash water in the machine, and full of soaked laundry which is not mine. So I gave altogether I gave them quick rinse and spin on the rinse and spin program, and immediately straight I knew there's a big trouble, because the washer, the wet laundry was literally to the free waters of the machine, and when laundry is soaking wet, drenched, it takes much less space. So the washer had already like a problem to balancing the load, spin the load. I had to wait for a half an hour to spin the load. So then I said, no, hang on, this way it won't go this way. So I give them quick rinse and spin, and then I immediately split the load into the two. So I immediately, after rinse and spin, I will separate the laundry into the two loads. So I separate all the white from the colored load, and then did the colored load the same day separately. Gave them a separate wash. So did the colors, there was mainly bedding, t-shirts, socks and towel. But since I had the sock, I let them, since that was already pre-washed, even the washing wasn't 100% complete, I let them run on the cotton 40 with an intensive rinse and an intensive wash and intensive rinse, because I wasn't entirely sure if I would put at 60 it may shrunk the fitted sheet, which Thomas has polyester fitted sheet, so it's like it's heavy like the duvet, like the blanket. Even the fitted sheet separate on its own. When it's soaked, it's heavy like the blanket. So that's why I gave the dark laundry run straight away. And the machine, even it was not soaked, it was pre-rinsed and pre-spun at 1200 RPM, which took a lot of water away. Maybe at 1400, I don't know what this laundry is for spinner straight away. So it was pre-spun at, I think, at 12 or 1400. So it was not drenched, and the washer was just completely full, almost overloaded of the dark laundry, and the washer sent like this washer is for the 8 kilo, and the washer sent after rinse and spin, after reload, the washer sent like there was a full 8 kilo load, even at 10 minutes up. So I don't believe the weight of the dry load, even with the white, was 3.8 kilo. It must have been mainly 5 or 6. And I don't understand how it's somebody able to fit so much laundry into these so tiny machine. And I don't blame anybody that is stepping up at this point. But yeah, it has really been overloaded. So I did the dark laundry, just the single bedding with duvet cover, pillowcase and fitted sheet. Then about 5 t-shirts, one pair of socks and 1 towel. I did it 40, and then I left the white laundry onto the next day on today, because I knew I was gonna taking the white laundry through the long program for the anti-allergy. Because Thomas usually does wash everything together, and there's not good for the colors. So and in the white laundry, there was about two cotton fitted sheets. There was no polyester. There was I think about one cotton fitted sheet, one cotton pillowcase, one fitted sheet, one pillowcase, one duvet cover which my neighbor added later, then one tea towel and just one kitchen or mess towel. Yeah, so that was in the white, and then I add, as you can see, I add about 4 to 5 tea towels of mine. So this is the ideal load. Yes, now this takes the power of the tripod, so I should be able to record the cycle until the end. It's perfect, right to the end. Well, now I'm gonna say one thing. The main criterion for me when I am loading the machine, when I am loading the machine, it's not the weight. It's not the weight like how many kilos it weighed, because it could weighing about 4.5 kilo, but the real clear room it takes in the machine is like 2.5 loads, which I know it sounds like nonsense, but it's true. It's really true. Feels like crazy, but it should weigh about 5 kilo in the dry, when it's fully dried off, but the real room in the machine are like 1.5 or 2.5 loads. It's really crazy because the capacity of the ROTKA, well, giving an example, the capacity of the ROTKA, physical capacity, is 8 kilo, but the drum is much like smaller, and the real capacity for physical wash, it's like a half, so like 4 kilos or 4 or even less, 3 kilos in the dry. When the laundry is completely dry, you can fit about 3.5 kilos into the ROTKA. So the real physical capacity for the safe wash is much more different than what they says in the kilo. In the kilos, they set 6 or 8 kilograms in the manual. The real capacity is like 4, like half, because the drum is much more like smaller. So for me, it's not, for me, the main criterion when I'm loading the machine, and it depends about when it's my machine, I do the test. Them for me are the main criterion, the weights of the kilograms. But when it's my machine and I don't do the test, I just like to do the safe wash, then for me the main criterion how much clear room it does take in the machine. And there should be a place so you can fit about 3 waters load. 3 waters load is about maximum for the safe wash without doing any tests or whatnot. So even the washer says 7 kilo, I never wouldn't fit the real 7 kilo in this. I fit about 3 waters of the drum. I never wouldn't fill even really full drum. unless it is either the test, or unless I have something very big, some very big, very big unsplittable one thing which I need to wash physically, like for example the duvet cover or the massive blanket for the double bed, or massive mat protector, or the massive fitted sheets to wash, then I would fit it completely, because it's just one massive things which I need to wash. But whenever I can split the load easily into, it's easy enough to do 2 loads, and it's always better to fill into this machine much more less than it tells to take. So they telling you this machine should take 8 kilo, but real capacity is about 4 kilo. I would never try even to fit the 8 kilo into this 8 kilo machine. And sometimes sometimes I have to do before and after. I actually sometimes I will do before, then, and after, and that would be very interesting to see how much it weighs after. First weight it as a dry load. Then let it fully soak with water and weigh again how much it weighs when it's fully soaked with water. And then leave it spin, and then weigh the spun laundry, the wet spun laundry. And I guarantee the difference of the weights will be massive. So the laundry should weigh about 4 kilo in dry. However, when it's even wet, not soaked, not drenched, when it's wet and spun, it weighs about 2 kilo more, so about 6 kilo. And when it's fully absorbed and soaked with water, it weighs much more. So even if the real capacity of the dry laundry is 8 kilo, the real capacity, the real weight when it's fully soaked with water, with not any room left, is 18 kilo. And that's too much. It's far too much for the washer. And another very important thing to say is that when there's too much load in the drum physically. Even you load it wet load and it's to the half of the drum. But when there is too much wet load or dry load in the machine has trouble to spin it up. So it just would be too unbalanced and the machine wouldn't spin it for a long time. And that's not because the machine is broken or because somebody forgotten to lock the bedding, but that is because simply there are too many items. Uh, so the machine can't find the real optimal balance to spin it. For example, when you have one heavy fitted sheet and then when you have like one light duvet cover, so as the fitted sheet is much heavier, the washer will keep be unbalanced and won't be able to spin until you add something or you take something out. So that's how I found even the 3.8 kilo are too much for this machine. Even if the real weight in the dry was 3.8 kilo, but I don't believe. I guess the weight is either bad calibrate or not calibrate at all, because I don't believe that, for example, the massive fitted sheet, which is real massive, like the duvet cover, the pillowcase, and the duvet cover on its own, even that should weigh like 4 kilo in the dry way. So the real capacity in the dry way was like 8 or 9 kilo, because after I did split up the laundry into the sort up into the two loads, even after them, after rinse and spin, the washer sent like the first load was overloaded and at 10 minutes. So I like to think that the washer is weighting much more exactly than the manual weights in here, which are either bad calibrated or not calibrated at all. What is really pretty bad actually, and then there's no discussion. This was too much for the Philco machine, even for the ROTKA, and if you do too much load, you can physically damage the bearings or the drum on its own. Not just by one test, but if you will physically overload the machine too often, then you are able to physically damage bearings or the drum on its own. So the real capacity of the machine is much more different than the capacity as they say in kilos. And actually, what I want to say is that when you're loading the machine, the laundry should be able to move around. There should be enough room for the laundry to turn around. When there is a bit of struggling at the beginning of the ménage, or at the beginning of the cycle, when there is a bit of struggling, it's not a big problem. But when there is a struggling through the whole cycle, then it's something seriously wrong. You have seriously overloaded the machine, and it's not good for the bearings, for the drum, for anything at all. And that's all I could say to you. Also, I very wonder what the Calicut looks like after the wash finished. Yeah. Yeah, even the anti-allergy cycle say so it's automatic 60. The real temperature is about 75. What is absolutely, yeah, what is absolutely actually amazing for this bedding details and whatsoever. So the anti-allergy cycle is super for the things which you don't want to really boil wash. They want to really boil wash. They want to have really boiled. But it's super for the things you. It's super for the things you have really like deeply and 75. And that isn't exactly what I do wanted for this load. So from this obvious reasons, I have left this load for this day because I quite even would like to film something and really just say something different than my laundry, but nothing too personal of the other persons. So I am not allowed to showing the other people's personal laundry on YouTube, but since there is only bedding and details, there's no problem. Yeah, when I show, for example, somebody's pants or somebody's t-shirt, it could be a problem straight when they are pissed up or trodden up or thrown up, yeah, it should be a big problem showing personal things on the YouTube, but since there is only the bedding and the titles and practically all has been pre-rinsed and pre-spun, it shouldn't be the big problem. Even if I know that that's mostly my neighborhood's fault, but nothing too crazy, nothing too personal. The more personal things like t-shirts and socks I wouldn't never show public on YouTube. And I'm really trying to showing loading. Straight when I'm filming, I'm trying to showing loading up the machine, unless there is something really nasty you don't want to see, or the laundry that doesn't belong to me. With what is exactly this case. So that I'm shown the laundry, loading up the laundry partially and only the part of mine laundry, my own. And as you can see, I have topping up with my laundry, but not with my personal laundry. So when I'm washing for the other people, I would never topping up with like my personal laundry, like t-shirts, trousers, or even towels, which is very bad. But when I'm topping up with like my bedding or tea towels, something which not going straight on the body, I have no problem then. Yeah. For example, when I was washing for Mr. Duchoň, I was topping up because there was one and only blue fitted sheet. So I did my load and topped this with the blue fitted sheet because I don't like to run the light laundry with the dark laundry. So this is partially my neighborhood's laundry, partially my laundry, but one thing I will tell you, and I don't worry about say this on YouTube because it's my personal words, and I don't worry to say it on YouTube. So I was warned from this group from House Full of Wheels that I shouldn't have washed the clothes from the other person, at least the personal clothes. Uh, but why I'm doing it now? If the clothes was fully dry, then I wouldn't uh, do it in my machine. If the clothes was fully dry, or was, for example, pissed up or trodden up or whatsoever, I would leave it and go to the professional laundry to the other building. But in this case, when machine broke straight into the first part of the cycle, and there is the machine standing full of water, full of clothes, then it doesn't matter for me who is washing or how the laundry is. I would take it every time because something different is the case of emergency when the washer breaks in the middle of the main wash, and something else is when when the laundry is dirty but it's dry. Somebody has the broken washer, so they should go to the other laundry. But when it's the case of emergency and washer breaks straight up in the middle of the cycle, is the other case. For example, when if you have the car crash, you don't wondering who had the car crash, and don't say I want help to these people. No, at all. Primarily, you would save the life, and then wonder who had the crash. So, if you have the case of the emergency, you are allowed to help your friend, and you can be proud on yourself that you are able to help your friend. And even if it isn't your friend but you could help him or her, you would do it every time. Or at least I would do it every time because help is the smallest things what I can do for her or him. So if I like my friend and if I am not the bitch, I would help every time there is something emergency happen. So really, I really have help every time, and doesn't depend who who is washing. But if Kuba's machine broke in the middle of the cycle, I would help him. If Thomas Ratchet broke in the, if Thomas machine broke in the middle of the cycle, I would help him. If Yerda's machine would broke in the middle of the cycle, I would help him. No matter when there is a case of emergency and there is the emergency call and washer full of standing water and wet laundry, then I would help everybody. No exception. If it's a gypsy, if it's I don't know, maybe if it was Hitler I wouldn't help, but there is the only person, Hitler or Stalin. But there is the only person I wouldn't help because I am not the bitch. And yeah, you hear right. I am not the bitch. And that is how it should be. So I'll back with my comments in a minute. Yeah, so this cycle does have the cooling down when it's 1 hour 11, it doesn't be cooling down. See what the water. Oh! Wow, that's really brown. Uh huh. Oh my god, so that was really dirty. Wow. So I'm really looking forward to see what the color catcher has came from. Looks like. Because it was really dirty. Maybe that the duvet was running the brown color. So I would like to say that there is a very different situation if somebody has the case of emergency, like the washer broke in the middle of the cycle, full of standing water and standing laundry, and there is a different situation if somebody uh, has the dirty laundry and wants to wash for me, but full load of dry laundry, they would want something from him or her. But if somebody has the case of emergency, like the washer leak or broke in the middle of the cycle or at the beginning of the cycle, I would help anyway, even if it if it even if it was my sock. I would really help anyway, because I'm not a bitch. Yeah, this cycle has the stepped cooldown. So this cycle has the stepped cooldown. After the cooldown its own, it has one shuttle rinse slash stepped cooldown. Uh, well, this what was now was the part of the main wash and was the cooldown on its own. But what will be now is the stepped cooldown slash shuttle rinse. Yeah, send and step cooldown. So this the stepped cooldown slash shatter rinse is just to cool for the correct temperature, save laundry. Not save, just like for protect. Well, first spin. And there was not first rinse, there was already stepped cooldown. This is slightly out of balance. There's something flying. Okay. Sounds like quite unbalanced. But the washer does sense it if it's unbalanced. And it's not too. First rinse. Ah, and then first regular rinse. Like there was a stepped cooldown, but that wasn't the regular rinse. Well, one very important thing just to say left over is that when I'm washing the laundry, which is not my own, in my own machine, it has the other rules than when I'm washing the laundry, which is not mine, in the other machine. The most important and the most important rule is any overloaded machine. So if I was washing in my machine, even if it was not my own clothes, if I see the load is too much to do at once, I would split into the two loads no matter what. Yeah, I would split always. And the second rule is that I would split to light and darks if it's enough. If there was one full load, one naturally full load, then I was watching everything together with the color catcher. But when I saw the load was too much, I would split automatically into the two loads. Automatically, no matter what. The washer is much more quieter even when it's less loaded up. It's loaded up less, but just enough to go. Odor is much more quieter when it's loaded up crazy fully. And I don't want to load it up like crazy fully. Now, if I am washing whites, no matter what, I'm always automatically add a little bit of powder just to brighten the white up, make it really hygienic. I do never use the, or I would say, I do practically never use liquid for the whites. If it isn't like an extremely delicate white. And I could say I just now could clearly see the difference. Um, I could clearly see over the glass that it worth it, really was worth it to wash the white separately. I'm sorry, there was a little Teams call. There was nothing wrong what shouldn't be public on YouTube, really. There'll be some sound correction. There was something a bit sus, but nothing really too bad. Nothing really bad what shouldn't be public on YouTube. As the washer gets to the higher speed, it's really getting shaky too much. So I don't know. So 35 minutes. Then I have to do the floor mops, and then I have to do the TST cycle to have really clean machine after washing Thomas Ratchet's laundry. But it doesn't matter for me because there was case of emergency and I would help. I would help in any case, absolutely. Because I'm not a bitch. Or at least I'm not a bitch. Well, this cycle has three rinses already in standard, maybe 4. When you add the intensive wash, it has 4 rinses standard, and when you add the intensive rinse, it has 5 rinses at the standard. So that is really nice. Nah. Third, I'm violent with fucking violent with spin actually. Honorant. I know. Mhm. Nice. Okay, my father sent me a scan of a camera as there was an accident at the fireman station. Fireman station in Pardubice. So the bodies the feeling. Girls and hallelujah. On a rinse. So that's gonna be final spin in a minute and an end of the cycle. And I am curious to view the results for you. I'm very curious, mainly what the color catcher came out looks like. Um, Even if it does run, which I know it does. I know that this did run pretty much because that was the horrible faded white. So minutes. Nice. Okay, so the load has been finally done, and now I can see the clear difference to the what it was before. So I'll show you what was inside. So what's inside was the duvet cover. Here's the yellow one. The yellow one was inside. Then there was tea towels. Just a couple of them, but yeah. It's good washed. Pillowcase. There was a tea towel. There's a wrap towel. Oh, there are some grease stains which I didn't notice it was on. So that has been the fitted sheet. This is rubber brown. And then there has been a few tea towels, but first I'm waiting for my long hand. I don't know where have I left. Yeah, in the kitchen. Left there. Yeah. There have been several details of mine. I have been a caricature. And yeah. So physically Thomas's tea towel. That has been one of my tea towels. And one of my tea towels. Well, that's not maybe really the best idea which my details with, but hang on. Hang on. What's the caricature? This is the one of the. Yeah. It doesn't really run too much. So yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this videos. Bye for now.